We own the rights to this music. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome. It's People to People with Rodney Grimes. First of all, I have to give honor to God.
Amen.
Hey, before I do anything. So, it's another day. It's a pleasure to be able to come to you. This is another special. Hey, this is a special for us. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited because of the gentleman that I have come, that came in to sit with us today. But again, what I want to do is just give a shout out to everyone out there, to Richard Taylor down in Goldsboro, North Carolina, U-Turn, the U-Turn show. Also, Drink to Shrink, Angela Cook. Shout out to you, Beth Creations. You know how she is. Anything you need to do to surprise someone, you definitely want to call Beth Creations. And also, shout out to Miss Rachel Prope, the queen of all things, and Tracy Clark on it's Bless Me. I think it's the Bless Me show, but Tracy, don't hold me to that. But God is good. But anyway, today I got an amazing man in the house from out of Baltimore, Mr. Frank Johnson. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good. I'm good, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm blessed, bro. First of all, I got to kind of just lower my energy because this is a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Why are you gonna lower your energy?
Yeah, I'm lowering my energy because I'm so excited based on the fact that I got a gentleman been doing this for a minute.
Don't ever lower your energy.
Okay, so
wherever God puts that energy, that's where you want to be.
Yeah, well,
it's for a reason. It's designed.
Well, during this process right now, I know me. So what I do is I'm all over the place. So what I do is
cool. I'm gonna be all over the place with you.
Huh?
I'm gonna be all over the place with you.
I know that. So what's been going on with you, Frank?
Man, I'm good, man. Just life and living COVID life and just working, continuing to grow, trying to figure out ways to reinvent, what we've done for so many years has changed due to our climate state.
Yeah.
So I'm good, man. Just working, promoting records, promoting my book, my ambitious book. Just living, enjoying my kids, growing up, and just trying to, when you work for about 30, 35 years plus in the entertainment business, and you've seen everything that it is to see, and you've traveled so much, and you've met so many people, and you've just been blessed so much to have so many opportunities. I never would have imagined I'd have worked for. I would have never ever imagined as a young kid growing up that Jay-Z would have been the president of the company that I worked for at the time. I've never would have imagined being blessed and fortunate and afforded opportunities that amazing people like Kevin Liles and having great mentors like yourself and one of my best friends Malik, and just I could go on and on and on, but so at this point in my life I'm trying to balance it out. I'm kind of halfway between that high and that balance. So
They're getting older, kind of getting settled.
Well, it's not even getting older because I don't feel old.
You
My wife used to tell me, act your age. I told her I am acting my age. What's 55 supposed to act like? It's all in the mind. So me, I wear my pants like I want to wear them. I wear my cut-up jeans. I wear my fresh sneakers. That's how I wear her. She dresses dainty and, she's such a lady. It's just her mindset. But I dress like I feel.
Well, believe it or
act
not,
like I feel.
At 61 years old, I'll be 62 this year. Believe me, I go through the same thing. I still put my sweats on.
Right.
I keep, I like to look nice, so
Right.
I understand that. And what I'm really excited about, as you mentioned, this book.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you, I'm not really an advocate reader, right?
Me either.
But I'm going to tell you this, bro.
I have yet to read my own book.
Well, let me. I'm more than halfway done.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I can talk about your book.
That's interesting.
And I found it that it was so surreal to me because I know you personally.
Right.
I know that you didn't fabricate anything in here. So no. I'm just saying.
That's too true. My book is almost too honest.
Well, believe it or not, from the relationships that I've had with you in the music business,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing the things that you was bringing to the table to Baltimore, then when I was reading it, man, I was like, oh my God. I really got the gist of who Frank Johnson is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times it was always business when I came down to Baltimore. Right. I was trying to promote Baby Girl at the time and some of the other artists that I had.
Right.
And I got to learn a lot about the music business through you and Malik.
Right.
So, coming down there, you remember when y'all was doing the platforms and had all the record labels? Right. Y'all was really some of the first to do that.
Yeah, the record pool meetings. Well, shout out to Sean C's at DTLR. Shameless plug. But, he was, I was fortunate enough, afforded the opportunity to come aboard and work with him, before he ventured over to that, what he's doing now. So, it was amazing back in those days. And, I kind of see it still happening today. It's just in a different way. People often sometimes sit around and say, things change. They really haven't changed. They just evolved,
Right.
evolved into what it was supposed to be, we were, I think God's plan was intentional about us developing and becoming better people. Can't say that everything we've developed and created in 2022, 2021 in this new wave of over 200 years of transitioning and changing, that it's all right, but it's all for the better. So, but those were some of the good old days.
Yeah. So
days.
is it hard adjusting with the change with the time right now?
Not with me. For me, I've always been a geek. I've always been a person that seeked. I've always been a person to. I love to advance, and that's part of the reason my book is called Ambitious, because just sitting as a young kid watching a mother of 5 kids raise 5 kids, barely around, and not that she wasn't, but my mother had so much to do. My father wasn't there, and she had to do what she had to do to raise up 5 kids. She had to come home and take care of the kids. She had to go to work, and sometimes probably working a part-time job, I have to imagine. And, I just, through my mother's eyes, man, I just learned to just fulfill my heart's desires and just become whatever I envisioned myself becoming. And the funniest thing, if you read in the book, I never started out in music at all. Like
Right.
music was nowhere, and
Right.
I wasn't even into music.
It was your brother
I
that
was
brought you in.
right. I was into arts, drawing and things like that. Kind of took that from my big sis. But I wasn't into music. But you know, eventually my brother came to me one day and he was excited about this group called Run DMC. I'm sure if it's any kids listening right now, they're probably like, "Who the hell is Run DMC?" Which is sad because it should be a part of our history.
Right.
Music and hip hop should be a part of history.
Yes.
Like that should be a academic in school. And the reason being is because there's so much history behind. Look at Quincy Jones. I sat and watched Quincy Jones's documentary the other night. Have you seen it yet?
No.
Oh my God, you are doing yourself a disservice. Everybody in this room that's watching this right now, if you're really ambitious about being who you want to be, watch that documentary. Okay. It was such an amazing documentary. I mean, just to see someone so persistent to defy the odds that were against him.
Yes.
And just to be so creative, and yeah, it was amazing. It's amazing.
I would hope to be similar to him, and so I'm definitely going to look at it.
You got to watch it.
Yeah, but actually one of the things that I'm looking forward to do in the future with People to People is to make documentaries and have different things that's going to be able to talk about individuals like yourself,
Okay,
and Kevin Liles and all the individuals like that came from out of the DMV.
Right.
Because what y'all did back in the day, you really was a little bit ahead of your time.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's an understatement.
It's basically for what y'all were dealing with.
Right.
As you know, back in the day with the music business, man, it was crazy because they didn't give you the opportunities that y'all had to create. I read in your book when I was talking about how you was sent out to take care of different projects and you had to make them happen,
right,
versus somebody giving it to you.
Right. The interesting thing about today and yesteryears is back in the time when we were coming up, the likes of Kevin Liles and Thomas Lytels and Leora Cohen's and people like them, like-minded people. We didn't have the advanced technology that they have today.
Right.
We didn't have the resources that they had today. You literally had to go out and bust your butt every day and go into the streets and go into the clubs. And, it's when grassroots marketing and promotions was the epitome of, the difference between your project being successful and not. Mm-hmm. And, we went out and we bust our butts to create a space. Mm-hmm. So today, to be honest with you, you don't have to leave your house to become a celebrity. You don't have to leave your house to become a star. But you still have to have the drive and the focus and the want to become aware and open your mind and figure out how to use these tools to advance to where you are. Back then, there were A&Rs going out looking for talent or finding talent, or someone was bringing talent to them, and they developed them. These days, labels aren't developing artists like that.
Right.
At least not from the startup. They're looking at these social media platforms and looking into the markets with influencers, and they're finding the talent that actually are resonating, who have put the work in, who have developed themselves enough where the labels only have to come in and put their machine behind it to continue what the artists have already done. They're pretty much looking for proven artists.
Yes.
So if you went out there and you put in the work and you use the technology and the TikToks and the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the Twitches and all of these social media platforms to help you reach people. Because you got to understand, Twitter's and Instagram, social media, they already have an influx of audience. All you have to do is figure out how to go out and reach them by using hashtags and various tools. And it's I would say it's a lot easier for artists today.
Yes.
Not just artists. I mean, businesses launching new products, brands, platforms like this. It's easier.
Yes.
It's a lot easier to become successful if you're focused and you're willing to do the research and you're willing to be patient and you're creative it's a lot easier. It's so much easier to get this show to 1 million views. If you focus and you pay attention to what's going on and you learn how to align yourself and position yourself and use the influence of others.
Exactly.
You know, remember that thing used to be word of mouth gets a product familiar quicker. Now you just have social media. Social media is your word of mouth. You know, when people believe something, they believe it because they saw it on social media.
Yes. How about that? And it's
how many times you ever saw something so much online you believed it and found out it wasn't true?
Yeah, I mean, social media got a lot of power.
Right. But it's a good and bad. It's a double-edged sword, but yeah.
Yeah, but also it's not, sometimes what you know is who you know too. Now in this day and time, because you be able to, even though, like you said, you can.
I think it's 50-50 these days. I think it's more of I personally think I would tip the scale and say it's about 52% of what you know. I'm sorry, who you know.
Yeah.
What you know. See, that's why I'm saying. Because, you know, if you know somebody and they're powerful and they're in a position that they can help
elevate you,
have an added value to whatever it is that you're trying to promote, whatever it is you're trying to market, it gives you an advantage. If you know how to do it, you know, like I have a King Los. You have King Los from Baltimore. He's a big hip hop artist from Baltimore. He lives in L.A. now. Amazing, incredible artist. He wrote for Diddy, probably Drake, probably so many other artists that, you know, we don't know. He's a multi-platinum success writer, but he taught himself to. He was in a space as a young artist, and eventually taught himself to take advantage of the social media tools that was in front of him. And before he was even successful, he was making other artists successful because he learned how to use the tools, which he then turned around and used on himself once he grew to a certain audience and became even more popular. But it allowed him to do two things because of the knowledge that he sought to become. To strengthen his advantage mindset, it allowed him to position himself with influencers who are now successful people, and so now that's why I said I think it's kind of 50-50.
Right.
It's about positioning, but you have to go seek and you will seek and you will.
We'll find.
Exactly.
So the difference is, like you were saying earlier, though, we're in a different time where it's easier to go get the information.
It's easier to go get the information. It's much easier to apply it. It's much easier to obtain.
Right. Yes.
It's much easier to obtain these days.
Yeah, because you can Google anything.
Right. The only thing is because the traffic has become so vast and so the highway is cluttered. You know, you just have to find your way through.
Yeah.
You have to stand out. You have to figure that, you know, it's still about promotions and marketing and figuring out how to make yourself stand out. And to be quite clear with you, that's if you really truly do your research, there's a little old lady who just happened to see a stray dog that took the stray dog in, and now the stray dog loves it. That has more views than probably one of the biggest artists in the world.
Right.
Because people want simple things.
Yeah.
That's why most of the bigger hit records, if you really listen to them, the really big hit records, I'm not talking about something with 1 million, 5 million views, 10 million views. The biggest hit records have 50 million views. They have views. Those are real views. 100 million views.
Right.
Because those are things that resonate directly with people,
and they can relate to,
and people can relate to the average person.
Yeah.
See, me being successful in West Baltimore is great and fine. Me being successful around the world is even more powerful. Not that me being successful in West Baltimore is not powerful, but depending on what your mindset is, where you're trying to get to, what that space is, that level of popularity or success you're trying to get to, then, you know, that's how you have to gauge it. But me, I feel fulfilled these days just being able to lend knowledge and educate people with thought, even if it's merely just to give them a different perspective.
Right. I want to shift gears just a little bit and go to your book.
I thought that's what we were talking about this whole time. Ambitious.
Yeah, well, I mean, but still, I want to target some things that, you know, during the process of me reading this. One, when you was talking about your mom, you know, I noticed you mentioned her throughout, and even through your writing, I can get the respect for your mother through your writing.
My mother is my heart and soul.
Yeah, so
My mother is my heart and
I
soul.
got that, and I picked that up, and also that your brother, he played a big factor in just really kind of pulling you into a situation where you say, okay, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go because you more so got into the music business based on your brother.
So my so I have two younger brothers. One of my brothers' name is Wayne. One of my brothers' name is Stink. Stink is my youngest brother, who's John Johnson Jr., who actually got me into music. God rest his soul. There's a brother in between us age-wise. His name is Wayne, and he always reminds me of my childhood. It's where I really remembered most of that stuff, because I have a terrible memory. And Wayne told me, and he reminded me that he says, Frank, you have always been who you are. You've always been who you are. He said at a young age, before you even started getting into music, into hip hop, into trying to the rap world, music world, he said you were a community organizer. You used to partner with community organizers in the community and go around, pass out flyers, try to push the neighbors to come together. He said you would go to the recreation centers in our areas and you would help out. And he said you had, I guess, programs, I'm not sure what they were, or I would partake in being a part of the administration there at the recreation centers just to give kids things to do and, just try to create resources. So, when that came about with my brother, I had no clue that I was going to be going into music. But, as God always does, he switches it around. He has his way of designing it. And I think, my younger brother was just a part of his design for me. Because who knows what I would have been doing if my brother hadn't come to me one day and said, hey, I want to be Run DMC, but I can't be Run DMC by myself because there's two people in the group. I would have probably never gotten to music. I would have never, I can't imagine I would have. I'm not sure what I would have probably been in legislation. So yeah, man, it was, those were two very, very impactful people in my life, and not that my other brothers or my sister wasn't impactful. I always look at my sister as the protector. My sister was the person that she wasn't going to let anybody do anything to her little brothers. My sister would beat a dude up if she had to. So she was more of our protector. And somewhere along the line, I fell in the midst of it, and I just thank God for my travels, and I'm pretty excited about it. So I really just want to grow to go around and be able to teach and empower others mentally, and give them motivation to not give up.
That's real, real powerful, and so and what I would call not being selfish to be able to want to do that, because that's part of what people to people is all about.
Right.
Empowering people is people to people,
People
power
to
to
people.
power, positive thinking people. So we are actually looking to open doors and bring in individuals like yourself that be able to give this information so that people understand, don't take it for granted. You got to put that work in it called dedication, loyalty, and these things. So back in the day when we was coming down to Baltimore, when you were doing, along with the other individuals, y'all was doing the events to promote the artists, what caused that to die out?
Technology. A couple of things. Somewhat kind of sort of legislation, because, in our era of promoting, it was more grassroots mindset, going out, hanging flyers, and it really just transitioned, to be quite clear with you now that I think about it, because, back in the 40s and the 50s, from what I understand, when they wanted to promote a party, they did what? They made a little flyer and they went around and they stuck them everywhere and they passed them out in their hand. It's grassroots marketing. Fast forward in the 80s and the 90s, we went and we put poster boards up. They were just bigger versions of the posters.
Yeah.
And we were more creative with figuring out how to maximize the opportunity for people to see them. So we would take these poster boards and go into street corners, the highly trafficked street corners, and we would put them together, wrap them around the poles, and staple them. Move one up, put another one under there, move one up. So you'd come out in the morning and you see a stack of posters hanging on, mile high on poles all around you. So again, we just reinvented the way that they did it back in the days, and now today, going in with the green mindset, going green mindset, I guess they decided to kind of rid away from the paper and the loitering and the fines that we were charged for doing this stuff, and transition into what's now social media, which allowed us to reach not only people in one city, because you have to think at that time we had, I had, working at Def Jam and Atlantic Records, I had teams in probably the top 20, 25 cities. That's just 20, 25 cities. Social media now, and I can have teams all around the world.
Yes, yes.
At one shot.
Yeah, right. I was reading in the book on one time when you was down there promoting something with T.I., and you had a situation where the other team had kind of beat y'all there.
Egos,
Yeah, and then you came in, you was like, dude, you did the flip on him, and you hired the dude to work for you, and he climbed the pole. You had him where he climbed the pole and went over top of everybody.
Right.
And so back then, it was really that hustle, and that was getting there and y'all get that fight in and they get that exposure. But now, here we got the social media.
And it's still almost the same thing. And that was a funny story. I was T.I., Kevin Lyles, Chris Robinson did a movie on T.I., the rapper T.I., and it was called ATL. So we were in the midst of promoting the movie and his album release coming out, and we were premiering the movie in a theater in Atlanta, and obviously it's our movie premiere, our album coming out. Who wants to be outshined? Who wants to, as an artist, do you really want to drive up to your event and all you see is somebody else's marketing and promotions? You're like, damn, what happened to my marketing and promotions? It was what they were, it was what artists lived for in the day. And, unfortunately, my team got there late or didn't give themselves enough headroom, and someone was thinking way ahead of them. And obviously, if most people know me at the time, I refuse to be outshined. So, they called me and I was at my hotel room about to leave, and they were like, Frank, we have a problem, blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, okay, well, go down there and rip his posters down and put ours up. And in the business at that time, there was something really you don't want to do, but people did it. But at that point, I wasn't losing my job or getting in hot water because someone else was smart enough to beat us there. So they were over there, and I got a call that they were about to fight. It was a bunch of arguing. So I got in my car, I went over there, and I met the guy. His name was Kadife. I never remember him. He was probably my biggest competition. And I ran into him, and I met him, and I was like, dude, like we got this premiere here tonight. Like, I'm confused. Like, why are you gonna come put your stuff up all around? He was like, Frank, it's my job. It's what they pay me for. He was like, Jermaine Dupri ain't gonna care whose event it is. He's just gonna care that if he comes to support T.I., there's nothing up of his. He was like, what you want me to do, man? Your guys, they should think smarter. Not work harder. As Kevin Lyles used to tell me all the time, Frank, you got to learn to work smarter, not harder. And so I was like, yo, dude, like I ultimately we're either gonna get in a scuffle out here. You're gonna rip mine down. I'm gonna rip yours down. It's gonna be over and over until we run out of product. I was like, so what is it gonna cost to just hire you for the weekend, and then you help me get done what I'm trying to get done? It's T.I.'s weekend down here. I know you got to do your job, but while you're out doing your job, he said $2,000.
Yeah.
I said, Swin, which was my partner at the time, I said, give him $2,000, and he gave him $2,000, and homeboy put our stuff up, put his stuff up, It was a win-win.
Yeah.
And that taught me something. But again, that taught me. I put that in the book because that taught me
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
That taught me something.
I really, when I read that part of it, I was like, man, that just shows sometimes that you got to readjust
Yep.
to make things work for you.
Right.
And so that's what
And I'm glad you got that out there. And I'm not sure if you did the
takeaways.
the takeaways in my book, but I have after each chapter, there's a takeaway section in there. And
I read them
for people that don't know. There's a takeaway section in there, and after each chapter, it challenges you to take a look at yourself, right? And what will you have done in that? And to me, I put that in there specifically after each chapter because I put each chapter in there for some people to learn something from.
Right.
And it's a part of me wanting to become a motivational speaker. I just want to be able to someday go around the country and just talk to these kids and talk to people and motivate people because, there's a lot of people. There's as many people out there who are distracted and so just still trying to figure it out. And, with all of these tools and this technology we have, we should really be good students and paying it forward.
Yes.
Because in all you've been through yourself, you've been blessed to be where you are now. And you learn little by little. I remember you calling me, Frank, man, listen, I was at the studio, I keep getting this hum and something going on, something wrong, and blah, blah, blah. And I think, man, you had a conversation. And even from that conversation, I have to imagine you went back and adjusted.
I did.
Or did some research and fixed some things.
Well, actually, because what you told me gave me a direction to go. Because I was kind of running blind. Ehab, who handles the technician part of it, was in Egypt working there. He works outside the country.
Yeah, I remember you told me that. Yep.
And so I was like, you know what? Once you told me, I came in, and then I got this other gentleman who was brought in by somebody I mentor, Dante Cunningham, and I told him what you said. He said that right there took him to a point where he knew where. He said, because I was going to take everything apart.
Oh, wow.
And then you say, no, you don't have to do that. He said, matter of fact, when I told him what you had suggested, I said, and he said, well, hold on. And then he started, and it was pretty much what you said about, coming out the sockets and the lights and everything. And so what he did, he just compressed it to a point where, it's not going to go away, but he was able to compress it. But that was one of the things, again, and what I want to say to you publicly, thank you for having an open door policy for people to be able to call and ask, and get some advice because that's really, really powerful, bro. So I see the sign that said PTP purchase books. Oh, okay, I got you. All right. Okay, yeah. So don't mind me. We got people in the studio, and then when she said that, I was supposed to catch that and not read it. But that's a part of what happens.
Well, I did bring some books to hopefully do something with.
Well, actually, I think that what's going to happen is we want to purchase one of the books as a giveaway. So we want to purchase a book. I'm gonna open up the telephone lines for people to call in, so somebody can win that book. So y'all gonna have to we're gonna purchase a book from Frank Johnson and put it up for one of the callers to call in and win it. And I got to figure out a question, or you can figure out something that we talked about to show that they paid attention to. And that who will be able to read that book.
What we're talking about in the interview. Okay.
Yeah, right. But the number is 703-752-6120. Call in and ask Frank Johnson some questions because, believe it or not, this gentleman has been in the music business for a very, very long time. He's worked with some of the best of the best. And matter of fact, you remember when I did the DMV Best of the Best and you came up and was on the panel with Dougie Fresh and a few other people. And that advice that you gave a lot of people, you educated a lot of people at that music conference that we did at the Showplace Arena. And you let a lot of people know right then, work smarter.
Not harder.
Not harder.
Because Kevin Lawrence used to put that in my ear all the time, yo. Dude, that was his main thing for me. Frank, you need to learn to work smarter, not harder. And when he said that, he wasn't saying I was dumb. He wasn't saying that I was not. What he was saying is that, Frank, you tried to do. I'm the type of person, if I ask you to do something, I've already done it before I ask you to do it. I'm just trying to give you the opportunity to fulfill something that you want to do. I'm just giving you the opportunity to be a part of what you're saying you want to be a part of. So I'll ask you to do it, and if it just, if you're not moving fast enough, I get it from my mother. My mother's very impatient, and I'll tell you that story in a minute. But if you haven't started moving on what I asked you to help me get done, I'm gonna go do it. And Kevin used to always say, Frank, it's way too many people out there that are waiting to help you, that want to help, that want to be a part of the process. He said, you have to sometimes let go and let them do it. Give them a chance to do it. Yeah. He was like, you'll ask somebody to do something and then you'll go do it.
Yeah, I had that
problem.
Well,
I mean, I just like to get it done. I don't want to be sitting around forever. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Let me
just tell you about my mom. Go ahead. Answer that and then I'll tell you about my mom.
Hello, caller. State your name and where you're calling from.
What up, son? How you doing? Man, I'm good. Hey, hold on 1 second, real quick. So my mother, right? My mother is the type of person that she doesn't like driving anymore. She's driven all her life. She's had cars, very nice cars, all of her life, right? As when we were young. And my mother, I always call her on Friday morning or Saturday and say, Mom, do you need to do anything? Do you need to do any running around? So I'll go pick her up. I'll tell her I'm on my way. If I'm late and I don't call her, my mother will leave out of the house and go get on the bus. And then once I call her in front of her house and say, hey, Ma, where you at? She'll say, I'm downtown already.
Because she wants you to be on your behalf.
Well, my mother's just a student meticulous for just being on time. And that's it.
Scott, what's up with you? How you doing, sir?
How you doing?
How's that?
I'm holding up good.
Yeah, you still out there making music and performing?
Always. Whenever a show pops up, I try to get up in there.
I know that's right. You see, I got Frank Johnson in here.
And the legend, industry OG.
Yeah, you already know.
Thank you.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So you got some questions for him?
That always sounds funny. I still can't get used to people saying things like that. It really, I'm like, okay.
I have two questions for Mr. Frank. In those industry record pool meetings, when you're listening to a new artist, were you looking for something that was completely different or a more established artist with a fan base?
At that time, I'm going to be honest with you, bro, I wasn't listening for anything. I was really just in there promoting our projects. And I was promoting our projects and just happened to be in an environment, because those weren't my record pool meetings. Those were Sean Caesar's record pool meetings at Unruly, and I just happened to work with direct promotion, the promotions team, DOT Promotions at the time. So I was there promoting Diddy and all of these other artists. So, I really wasn't looking for anything at the time. But these days, when I go to events where, they're showcasing artists, I am kind of looking for something because, as well as an executive in the music business, I write and produce music, is what most people don't know about me, is I write and produce music. And I'm always keeping my ears open for not only something that's hot, but somebody that's transitioning themselves and really putting that investment in themselves to prove, because that's what labels are looking for these days. They're looking for proven. It's almost like you went to college, you got your degrees, blah, 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 blah. They're looking for how much investment, how much you believed in yourself. So what I'm usually doing is just looking at the talent and seeing if there's anything in there that not only stands out, but that have put enough investment into themselves to put themselves ahead of the rest. Because in all due respect, no matter what I say, no matter how many labels sign you, bruh, if you don't have the motivation to be a great artist and really move yourself, then you're going to find yourself stuck at a major label sitting on the shelf.
Right.
What was this? You said you had two questions.
Right. And the second question, when you were at the label, when you worked with the major artists, was it something different you seen in each one of them, or it was something similar?
You know what?
You feel comfortable to work with them?
You know what I saw mostly that work for major artists, and I don't think enough artists do it? Build a team. Yes. Build a team. Yes. Build a team around you.
Yes.
Stop trying to do everything yourself.
Yep.
Stop trying to assume that you know it all. Build a team. Find great people around you. Because again, I don't know if you heard, Kevin Lyles used to tell me, you got to learn to work smarter, not harder. So again, that simply meant utilize some of that resources around you.
Yes.
Why try to do everything yourself? You want to be the engineer, the writer, the producer. You want to do your own promotions. You want to be the graphics person. You want to shoot your own video, be in your own video. At some point, man, there's a college kid out there right now that wants an opportunity, right? That wants an opportunity. I'm sorry, I'm talking to my brother here. As wants an opportunity, and why try to keep it all to yourself when there's somebody that's motivated to help or just want to be a part of something great, and in return, you never know where that's going to put you. You never know what that kid or those that team's resources is going to help you. It may actually expand your whole horizon. It may expand your whole reach of audience.
So I hope he answered your question there, Skinner.
Skinner, follow me on Instagram when you get a chance, man. Frank E. Johnson on Instagram.
I most definitely will.
My
Thank you.
man. Get that book. Get my book, man.
That's what I wanted to say. Hey, Skinner.
Yes.
So if you've been listening to the program, we get ready to put one of the books up that you'll be able to win. So pay attention to what's going on.
And if you don't win it, you can come grab one from me.
Right.
If you don't win it, you can come grab one from me, and I can sign it for you today while I'm out in this area. I'll be hanging out. Hopefully, I'll hang out with Rodney for a minute. We'll go grab some lunch after this.
Yeah. So hey, I'm going to tell you personally. I'm reading a book for all the individuals that's out there that's in the music business that want to learn something. You are going to walk away with with a head full of knowledge, and not knowledge that he's teaching you from the book.
Life.
It's like
Life
actually,
lessons.
Yeah, it's the life lessons, but it's going to trigger you to think in a different perspective. So thanks for calling in, my man. Okay.
Yep. All right. Nice to meet you, my friend.
Okay.
So again, you saying that, and I just want to say one thing quick before you go to, I don't know if you're going to a commercial or something.
No. We got another caller waiting.
Okay. So the great thing, and I specifically, and this is for everybody that's wondering what's in the book, it's not go in there and learn how to do this, and I'm giving away my industry secrets and things. I am, but I'm giving it away through testimony. I'm giving it away through testimony, and that's important because you get to see the experience through my life experience. You can go ahead, Rodney.
Okay.
I know you're ready.
Okay. Real quick, we got another caller. And for everybody just calling in, y'all just be
I
patient.
didn't know I was so popular.
Wait, just be patient, and the phone is. Okay, go ahead.
Or it might be you popular, actually.
Caller, please state your name. Or is that me? I'm supposed to get that?
Yeah, you got to pick it up on
okay.
that side.
Uh-oh. I did something wrong. Oh, okay. Okay, there you go. Hey, caller.
Hey, Rodney.
Hey, how you doing?
Rev Gotti.
What's up, Rev? How you doing?
You got my man Frank J up there?
Is that Rev Gotti? What up, boy?
Gotti.
What up, boy?
Hey, Frank, it's been a pleasure, man.
Man, oh my God. Yo, Yoni, yeah, thank you, bro. Yo, dude, this guy right here, Gotti.
Hey, man, you remember back in the day when hey, yo, you talk about the pose, we talking about the posters on the pose? You know I work with Greg Baker, man.
Yep.
We took Baltimore DCDA over.
Yep.
And he was right, man. We had to muscle to get our posters up, or other people kept beating us. But then I started thinking smarter, and I was there tonight for the next morning.
Yep.
To have our posters up.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Big Pun came, and we did that thing in Northeast, man. I lit the whole city up, man. Now is that these artists is coming out. They think that being that the new 2022 is in and the multimedia on internet, it's still good to do that street hustle, man.
Oh yeah, listen, people to people, P2P, people to people, is as powerful as the social media. You know, it's just that unfortunately social media can reach a lot more people a lot quicker. But when you're trying to make a concentrated statement and a targeted focus on a market or so forth, you might want to turn your speaker down behind us. I don't know if you're still watching and listening, but you might want to turn your speaker down because it's giving you an echo. But yeah, but it's still relevant. You're absolutely right.
I moved down to
Oh, okay. Wow, that's
You
dope.
know what I mean? And
Hmm.
I'm trying to develop. I'm trying to develop. You got some nice artists out here. I'm trying to develop them, but I'm trying to bring them up the way I was brought up in the game, man. I think, like I said, old school is always new school.
Yeah, just keep in mind, it's a whole new world out there. It's a lot easier way to do it. So transition. What we don't want to do is, I was told about 3 years ago, before the pandemic, when labels were calling me to, help with projects. I was told, I was giving them my rates and things like that, and I was told by a good friend of mine who's a vice president of marketing at Atlantic Records. She said, Frank, don't price yourself out of the industry. She said people are doing things differently for less.
Right.
So keep that in the spectrum of what you was doing.
Yes.
Keep that in the spectrum of what you're doing, because there's kids that there's different. We're doing it differently these days. So where we would get paid, how it was, we'd get paid $5,000 a month from a label. Labels barely want to pay you $500 a month. So it's a different world. So we have to adjust, and I say that to you as in a mindset of, although it was amazing what we did, it was amazing the work we did. I mean, listen, it was the work we did. People like Greg Baker and Melody, who work with McKinley, and yourself, and incredible people like Sean Peckus, who ran Bad Boy at the time, and Rob Love, who was was the incredible talent really behind just transitioning some of the things we were doing at Def Jam, who made it what it was, but in the same sense, notice that they're no longer doing it that way. So technology
I go
has allowed us to advance.
right. I go back in the days, bro. Let me tell you something. You was a busy man, bro.
Hmm.
Hey, hey, hey.
When I say busy, bro, I ain't
He knows me.
Yeah.
He,
No, I
he
know.
know me.
Yeah.
Know me.
Hey, Rev. Rev.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. We was just talking about Frank a little bit before he got here, right?
Yeah, we
And
was.
when I told you, you was like, "Oh yeah, hey, back then Frank was breaking the big sweat." But something I want to bring to your attention that we were talking about, that Frank just actually, you just co-signed something when we talking about, yeah, didn't he? Because of the conversation you had, the way that it used to be, that we got to transition to where they are today.
Yeah,
And
man.
I'm so
you got
glad
to.
you said
You
that.
got to.
Yeah.
You can't. The old. I found myself about 7 years ago, after unfortunate divorce with my wife. I found myself wondering where I was, because I was still stuck in. We sometimes, during our rise and our heydays and all of the amazing opportunities that we were afforded, thank God, we find ourselves getting sometimes just stuck in that space.
Yeah.
And we have to remember that life moves on, and we have to transition. We have to
Right.
transition with it. So, I've really just paid attention to that and made sure I kept the advantage. And that's one of the things I'm excited about. Even today, back in the days, Rev, that the people's label's major focus was what? Getting a record on the radio, taking a stronghold on the market. These days, radio is the last thing they go for.
Yeah.
They're on social media and online trying to grow, because they want to see, at the end of the day, what people don't realize is the purpose of radio for record companies are to maximize audience. Record labels' mindset has always been never to release a product, and this is a jewel for people.
Okay.
So, I get it when you're putting all your videos online, and then or these videos online, and then you're releasing an album. You release an album, and if you look at each of your video, one video may have 500 views, one video may have 5,000 views, one video might have 50,000 views, but that's an accrued 100,000 views.
Right.
So when that project is released, you have to do the math. There's only a small percentage of those people that's actually going to buy it.
Right.
So the key to radio, in addition to online, in addition to local publications, in addition to the poster boards, in addition to all of the work, the awareness work that we put into it, it was for a reason, a particular reason. And that reason was to reach a maximum audience, because most labels don't release back in the day, they didn't release an album until it at least got to 100 million in audience.
That's right.
100 million. So if the album comes out the first week and they sell 1 million, what percentage was that?
So you're not really getting
No, that's 1%. You want to sell
Right.
1 million records. You
Right.
want a platinum or a gold album
Right.
the first week.
Yeah.
So that was the point. But imagine you had to get 100 million views
just to get to that level.
just to get 1 million people, or 500,000 or 25,000.
Right.
You know, because the bragging rights was always, it's always was an ego thing in business. Bragging right. It's always bragging rights. It's always who had the hottest album on the charts, who has the hottest album on the charts at Billboard, Planet Radio, who has the hottest sales, who has the hottest ringtones. That was always the fight. On
That was the main thing that Greg Baker was trying to teach us, man. If we ain't out there in the morning, dude, we can't sleep at night.
Hey, Gotti, but that's some of the things that these young people don't have that we had, and that's that work ethic, and that's one of the things that we have to teach them. So we kind of I had the opportunity to talk to Frank or something else Frank, I'm gonna hold on to something you said.
Okay.
You may not remember this, but do you remember when we was talking about the young people? You said, "Don't talk at them." Go meet them where they at.
Right.
You remember you said that? Mm-hmm. And sometimes we have
I
to
was
do-
taught that, by the way, because I've always been the person that I believe that, if you want it, you got to go get it. But unfortunately, these days, today, in today's society, these young kids don't get it.
Yeah.
They're raised by single moms or no moms. They're
Or
raised
by
by their brother's
social media.
cousin. They're raised by social media. It ain't their fault, though.
Yeah.
We can't blame them. We have to stop blaming these kids in our community because they're doing...
You spoke about Russell Simmons.
Boy, you better let me finish talking.
Russell Simmons, Kevin Lyles, and them. I remember they came to DC, man. Kevin they was promoting. Who was it? Anyway, I had to wear a yellow sweatsuit. That Russell told me, "Yo, put this on and promote this." That's what Russell was doing his clothing line. Put this on and promote this for me. And we was at the hotel.
I don't know where he went with that, but okay.
On 18th Street. Man, I wore that. I looked stupid, man. But I wore that yellow t-shirt.
Hey, Gotti, back in that days, boy, when Russell and Kevin and Leor was at Fat Farm, the only thing they want to see you wearing is what? Fat Farm, and Air Force Ones. But it was good talking to you, man.
Hey, Gotti, we got another person sitting on the line.
Hey, man. Hey, yo, Frank, it was good to listen to you, brother, and definitely seeing you from off this Rodney platform, man. And Rodney, we go way back, man. You can tell Frank about that, but Frank, it's been a blessed, man, seeing you. Keep doing your good things, man, and bless moms, man. She raised a good son, yo.
Hey, Gotti, you got to get the book.
See you when I see you.
Order that book. Hey, real quick. Thanks, Gotti. Hey, Frank, tell them how they can order the book off of.
Well, you can simply go on Amazon and type in ambitious Frank Johnson, or you can go on Instagram and you can, I'm not sure if you hung up, or you can go on Instagram and you can click the link in my bio.
Okay.
Or Facebook and click the link in my bio, Frank E. Johnson on Instagram.
Okay.
Or you can meet me here and get a copy autographed.
Yeah, at 1934 Old Gallows Road, Suite 304. Frank Johnson's down here
Now we're in Tyson's Corner, so
don't be scared of Tyson Corner, man.
You got to get ready for the drive if that's the case.
Hey, ain't nothing to it.
Hey, listen, if they coming, you better.
I ordered that book, man. I'm going to promote that book and watch. You're going to get some sales through me. I'm still the same, man. I'm going to promote this, bro.
Thank you, Rev. I appreciate you, but
Bless, man. I'll see you next time.
thank you, but
All right, Frank.
I'm not sure how long gonna be down here. So if we're putting that out there, you might want to let them know.
No, we
that.
still we good. We
Okay.
good.
Okay.
We ain't got to rush.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, so I got another caller. Caller, thank you so much for holding on. I love it when you show that dedication. Who
Hey,
is
can I
that?
say something real
Yeah.
quick before we go to the caller? I have to tell you, Rodney, that I am shocked when I came up here. I wasn't expecting the setup. Not really this. It's not about the setup because you know how my mind thinks. My mind is. But I wasn't expecting to come up here and see you've made such an investment into yourself. And just looking at the equipment that you have and what you're doing and how you've taken it to a whole nother mindset is most inspiring. And I just want to say congratulations, bro. I mean, you know, a lot of people talk about it, but you know, a lot of people don't put their money where their mouth is and really go do it. And you've invested so much into your what you're doing, that I mean, you can see it through the quality of it. And I don't know how, I don't know anybody that has a online platform like this that has put the investment into what I'm looking at right now, and it's interesting. Even in the building that you're in and everything. So congratulations on what you're doing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Proud of you, boy.
Hey, hey man, we doing what we do. Hey, caller, so go ahead and talk to Mr. Frank Johnson. Hello, caller.
Hi. Yes, this is Angel.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, Angel. That's Angel from Drink to Shrink.
Yes, it is. Hey, Rodney, how you doing?
Well, where's the drinks? I'm joking.
Drink is right here, and I'm drinking with it. We'll talk about that another time. I love this show. Thank you so much for coming on, Mr. Frank.
Oh, you're welcome.
I have a question.
How do I sound? I want to know how I sound.
Now, I think about West Baltimore. Now, I'm an avid hip-hop listener.
Okay.
The music has
she hear
changed.
me?
Have you ever thought about coming back to West Baltimore and doing something with them so that the youth
Can you hear me?
express themselves through music?
Can you hear?
There's so much talent.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So, first of all, probably for the past, outside of the last 2 years, for the past 10 years, I've been an Advent community organizer in Baltimore in general, but as well as West Baltimore. Remember the Youth Be More summer block parties?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me.
Amen.
That was me along with the city of Baltimore. Thank you for Lindsay Jackson and Miss Sabrina Sutton. But yeah, that was me. So let me tell you what I'm inspired to do. But I'm inspired to do. But my only problem is that, unfortunately, I don't have the resources right now to do it financially. But what I'm really excited about within the next, I'd love it to be the next year or 2 years. I'd love to open up 2 satellite. I'd love to take some of these vacant schools or these charter schools that still have space in it and turn it into media and entertainment curriculums. And I'd love to find somebody to work with it to help me write it and put it together, and then someone to help me find the finances. But I ultimately want to open schools for these middle school and high school level kids in Baltimore, because as you notice, the attendance in Baltimore city schools is terrible. But it's only terrible because these kids were raised themselves. So only thing they know is music. Only thing they know are movies and arts and creative. That's all they really know, outside of going outside and figuring out how to hustle up some money so they can make sure they have food on their table, shoes on their feet. These kids that they're unfortunately bringing into the world because they weren't prepared for it. They need somewhere to inspire them. And I keep telling, as I said to a couple of people in the educational system who told me, Frank, once you're ready to do it, we can help you find the real estate. You just got to put together the curriculum and, be able to obviously have the resources to do it until, and obviously that's through donations and things like that. So I'm really open for that. But I really, truly have a desire in my heart to create a school in West Baltimore and in East Baltimore, satellite schools that I can use my influence through the artists, recording artists I know, and the executives and people and the influencers I know, set up the school, these academics for arts, entertainment, and media. For film producers, kids who want to be in movies, kids who want to act, kids who want to edit, kids who want to learn the ins and outs of the business, in the radio music side, kids who always wanted to be on the radio, who've always wanted to be a part of, the status quo. And I just really want to inspire them through it. But see, here's the kicker to it. In order for them to be a part of it, they have to maintain a average in school. Right. So we'll encourage them. It will encourage them. Imagine if you're a kid in West Baltimore, and in order for you to go to be a part of this art school, as Walbrook was for me at one time, imagine you have to keep a certain grade so you can go get in a recording studio and get some free time, in order for you to go be an actor on this new movie that this class is working on, because again, because of technology and influence in relationships, it's so easy for us to put this stuff on TV. I almost cursed. It's so easy for us to put it on TV. It's so easy for us to get it on Netflix, to get it on Tubi and all of these platforms. But these kids really have no motivation to go to school. So I want to use arts, entertainment, and media as a incentive for these kids to go get in school. And I want to start it in my backyard of West Baltimore, preferably somewhere near, where my mom still lives.
Pennsylvania Avenue. That is so awesome because I was thinking that, I've noticed that the children, they are having a struggle, but their grade point average in Baltimore is 1.0. So I can see why it's hard for them to go ahead. But if I'm thinking, I needed music, they need music, and if there was an organization like you said you were doing, it would be so much greater for them because that is an avenue for them to express themselves. Now, I notice how the music, they don't have music like we did back in the 90s. So how would you feel about the music, changing their music, teaching them
I wouldn't want
to express themselves with better music?
It would be a disservice to us to change their music. I wouldn't want to change their music because the same way, you have to keep in mind, back in the 60s, back in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, it was a different mindset. We were raised differently. You have to remember around the 70s, mid 70s, 80s, early 90s, the drugs and whatever was being pushed in our community disrupted our mindset. It disrupted families. It disrupted parents who were now crackheads and drugged out, who couldn't raise their kids and turned the kids to the streets. So the kids were now being raised by the drug dealers on the corner or somebody else. So they were influenced differently than we were influenced. So can the music be different? Would I love to see a space where we're not calling our women's bees and where we're not, toting guns on every video? Of course. Would I want to get to a point where, these videos just are not overexposing these women bodies and so much sexual focus on it that you don't really see the beautiful side of what they're trying to say? Yes, I would love for it to become that way, but we have to be able to relate to these young kids, and these young kids don't trust anybody anymore because why? Because they were left out there to fend for themselves. So we have to begin the healing process for them first. Once we begin the healing process of our communities as well as these kids, to just show them that we still love them, just simple things as bringing the community back together, then we can start thinking about, I think ultimately, if these kids can feel love and they can feel the things that we felt growing up, then they'll change themselves. We won't have to change them.
Okay.
I work with the children over Westmont. That would be great. I would love that. I'm going to start following. I would love that because there are so much opportunities. I agree. But you remember we had Little Kim. So,
that was our Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah.
Yes.
But we also had amazing artists like MC Lyte and Queen Latifah and artists like that who respected themselves. No disrespect to Little Kim.
Right.
Redhead, King Pen, King Sun. That's my days. Love it.
Right.
And all that.
And in all due respect, there's nothing wrong with the Little Kims and the Nicki Minaj's and people like that of the world, because at the end of the day, they're comfortable with their sexuality. They're comfortable with the way they feel and who they are. Right. So there's nothing wrong with that. So we, even again, back to these kids, they're just expressing. You have to listen to these kids' music today and realize that these kids are really just expressing themselves. They're just expressing. And if we were smart, we'd listen to their stories because their stories might actually help us learn how to help them heal.
Yes. It's really important. It's really important for us to listen.
Music is their therapy.
Hey, Angela.
Yes, it is.
Angel.
Yes.
Okay, so I got another caller, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Hey, first of all, don't forget, we got to set it up and get you in so we can talk about Drink to Shrink and
Amen.
promote that,
It's
okay?
healthy.
You already know that's what it's all about us helping and living a good life. Okay, hey,
Amen.
thank you for
Thank
calling
you.
in, sweetie.
All right.
Okay, hello, caller.
Good day.
And please,
Hello.
you can you state your name and where you calling from?
Yes, this is the Queen.
Oh, Mr. Okay, this is Queen Rachel. How you doing?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
I'm good. I'm sitting here with Frank Johnson, who has written a book that is an amazing read, but he's also giving us some powerful information. So, what's your question?
I got something for Mr. Johnson. Work smart, not hard. Yep, I believe in that. I follow that tremendously. And I have a tip for Mr. Johnson. I heard him speaking to, was it Angel, pertaining to his dreams for his community and need funding. And I think I mentioned this before when I first heard him on your show. And concerning my right now, there's grants for organizations and the Maryland State Art Council. And if he needs a grant writer, I know a couple people for him. And there's Maryland Arts Day that's held every February. He needs to attend that. They're doing it by Zoom now because of COVID. He needs to attend that and network with the people that attend the event and the speakers to share and network and get more funding. So that's why I was called.
So thank you for that information. But what I'm really wholeheartedly looking for, I've always been a team person, and not that I don't want to go to these meetings and do some of these things you're saying, but what I'm really looking for is to ultimately engage some people who are like-minded and want to be a part of it, this whole experience, and we come together and create it collectively. Because one thing I know about me is I've learned my strengths, and my strengths is doing it. My strength is getting it done. My strength is pushing people, and motivating people to get it done. So I'd love to pull together a team to actually get it done. And if you're out there and you're looking at it and you're like, that's interesting, feel free to DM me on Instagram at Frank E. Johnson, or inbox me on Facebook, and let's get the conversations moving. But I like to allow people to do what they do, and bring a grant writer in-house to be a part of it, because I've seen successful organizations such as the Hip Hop Caucus operate like that. Again, my good friend at the Hip Hop Caucus, Rev Yearwood, who inspired it, the Respect My Vote campaign. He know what he's best at. He's best at speaking. He's best at speaking and engaging people. His partners, she knows that she's amazing with putting grants together and tapping into resources and getting money, finances. Malik Yusuf, he's amazing with motivating people and getting out there and being the mouthpiece. So, me, when I was at the Hip Hop Caucus, I was great with galvanizing people and organizing. So, I know my strengths, so I try to, play my position and not try to do everything. But I'm interested in, anybody that is looking to do something like that. And, I know it can be done. I'm just not, I just need some, yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
But I'm most interested in really fulfilling that at some point before I leave this earth, which is probably going to be in another 100 years.
I'll reach out to you on Facebook and send you the link
Okay, great.
that I have with you.
Thank you.
I don't want you to miss out on that, so you can find somebody to attend it for you.
Oh no, I would actually love to go. I'm just saying, but there's gonna have to be somebody there to help me dissect it and make sure that I'm not missing the message. Is all I'm saying. Because there's people that are there are people that are well in tune to that world of grant writing and the legislation behind it and the particulars logistically that is going to help move it forward, and that's what I'm talking about.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind going. I don't mind going.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Queen. We love you. Be looking forward to talking to you again, babe.
Okay. Love y'all.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, so let me take this opportunity again for everybody to just tune in. We're going to run till 1 o'clock because first of all, I already seen that we still got a few more things we want to cover with Frank.
We can run until you're ready to leave, man.
Yeah.
I got a 4 o'clock, but other than that, I'm good.
Yeah. But I just want, first of all, again, look, this is a book that you want to get. If you're in the music business or you even talking about just trying to find some motivation, I want to put the book up. It's called Ambitious, right? Written by Frank Johnson. Frank has talked about his skills in the music business, his relationships, but really it's all about just tampering your thinking to make you go to a different level of looking at the way you would do things. It's not so much what he did, but he's trying to
Perspective.
Yeah, have you to look at a perspective. So definitely, we're going to put the information on how to get this book. And let me say this too. I'm advocate about this. I'm advocate about this. When we got different people who are taking the opportunity to share their information, I'm saying people like us. Okay, let's make sure we promote it. We before this day over, Frank should be calling me back, telling me, man, everybody reached out and bought a book. So everybody that sees this, I want you to do that. I want you to go out and I want you to order this book. I want you to promote this book because this is going to inspire other people to do this as well. It takes each one of us to help to move forward. And so, again, the book, and Frank, tell them how to be able to get this book. And
You can simply go to any of my social medias and click the link in my bios, and it'll take you right to the page. Or just go to Amazon. If you're not on social media, just go to your computer, go to Amazon, and type in Frank E. Johnson and type in Ambitious, Ambitious.
Okay, this is what we get ready to do. Frank, we're going to cover this book, but we got a book that's going to be given away. Now I got an idea. Some of you was talking about it, so I just want to see if we got a call out there. I'm gonna give you the telephone number. Call in. The first caller to call in and give me the answer to this question, you will win this book. Now check this out. Frank was talking a little bit. He had to make some moves in a certain situation and had to pay a guy a certain amount of money. I want you to call in and tell him how much money was that he had to pay.
That's funny.
So all you got to do is you got to call in. The number is 703-752-6120. 703-752-6120. Now listen, like I said, if you was listening to the program, Frank was in a situation where he had to make a move, and it cost him a few things. You know, something he had to do. If you can tell me what that was, you can get that book. And nobody in the studio can call. I seen a few phone calls getting ready to get picked up in here. Yes. Here we go. Let me see what's up.
That's funny.
Hello, caller. State your name and who's calling.
Oh, this is Skidder Scat from Prince George's County.
Skidder.
Hey, Skidder Scat. Okay, come on. What's up, Skidder?
What up, Skidder?
Yeah, I see you calling back. What's up?
I'm trying to give you the answer to that question.
Skidder.
Okay,
Scat.
wait. Tell me what's the answer to that question.
I believe it was about $2,000.
My man.
Yeah, absolutely
Okay,
right.
congratulations. Hey, congratulations. All right. Hey, you actually won the giveaway book. So that was a power move right there. Skidder, you got that book. You can easily pick it up from the station, or you know how to get to it. So actually, I'm gonna have Frank go and autograph it for you specifically, and most definitely you're gonna love to read this. This is gonna motivate you because the work that you putting in out there as an artist right now in the DMV. All right.
Yes.
Hey, so congratulations. All right.
Thank you, Skidder.
You're welcome. thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Skitty scat.
He got that thing. That was all right. He was waiting by the
Rodney,
phone.
you got a lot of people sharing this thing, man. You got 182 people sharing. You're alive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
182 people is a lot of people.
Yeah, well, we got Frank Johnson in the house, man. Come on now.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, well, we also want to give thanks to Lady Z, who's over there, who's actually, that's what she do.
What, social media?
Yeah, we out here, but we do what we do, man. It's all
Wow.
about getting it out there. And what you say, put the work in, and I can't do all of it myself, right?
Yeah, man. Teamwork makes the dream work. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to share it because I never shared it on my damn page. I'm tripping out right now. Wilding out.
So everybody that just tuning in, we got about 15 more minutes with the great Frank Johnson in the house because I
feel like we haven't covered enough, but okay.
No, yeah. I mean,
we don't want to bore people, I guess.
No,
so.
that's not that. I also have another project that's coming up that I'm committed to, and I don't want them to be.
I am not mad at you, bro.
Yeah, but look, this is what's up. Let me tell y'all something. People to people, power to power, positive thinking people. What it represents, books like this. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, this ain't no joke. This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you getting in there, people to people, Frank Johnson, you, me, us, right? That's people to people. Power to power, the information that's in here that's going to stimulate your brain, give you something to think about. The power that you're going to hear from other people, how they used it. Some abused it. But when you take that power and you put it in a positive way, what do we get? We become positive thinking people, and that's what we represent at people to people. So I want y'all to definitely make sure that we're gonna keep them promoting all the books. We got other authors that's been on the program, and we're gonna continue to do that. But I'm not gonna make this about people to people. We got Frank in the house, and Frank, man,
that's what it's about, though. It's about people to people. That's what this whole conversation is about.
Well, my man, I appreciate that,
Right.
and I love the one thing that I'm looking for is this. One thing that I've learned about you, and even from the book, I know when you get your mind focused on something, you really start to pushing it. Mm-hmm. I am personally, first of all, I want to say thank you for accepting to come in to do the interview. Also,
it's been a long time waiting. Actually,
yeah,
we've been talking about this for
a minute. Well, you
wow.
don't remember. Rachel said that she remembered from the last time, but that was when we was calling it Real Talk with Rodney Grimes,
right?
And it was you and Malik that was on. And we were talking about some things, and we was really kind of like, we wasn't talking so much about the music business, but we was just talking about the general
stuff, right?
Things of people and how people was moving about. But today, for all you out there that's interested in asking Frank about some tips about performing, how to market yourself.
You know what would be the most amazing things when I come on these type of shows, right? I often expect the phones will light up with people saying, how can I do this? How can I do that? But they never do. They're just really at odd about me. And I just want to say that to say to people out there listening, when you have people on shows of influence who have some knowledge of things, I'm not saying I know everything, feel free to take advantage of that and call and ask the questions that you want to ask.
Yes.
Because in all due respect, I'm a consultant, so people pay me to answer these questions. When I come on shows like this, I answer them because it's my duty to.
Right.
It's a part of who I am.
But you know what happened? Some of the people think because you was in the music business, because they do different things that doesn't relate. So y'all got to understand, you can call and ask Frank. You can call and ask questions. I don't care if you're a real estate agent, if you get ready to sell ice cream. Everything can be...
Everything has to do with marketing, and that's primarily what a lot of my background is promotions and marketing.
Yes.
And creating opportunities to move your brand or your product one step closer.
Yes.
So it all falls in line, whether it's music, clothing, you're opening a daycare center, or a coffee shop.
I got a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Okay. What is it that's going to take for us to really change the way that people are thinking and networking so that we can come together to really, really support one another?
Person at a time.
Okay.
One person at a time. And at some point, the more we're successful in what we do, we become better examples.
Right.
And we have to stop cuffing it, and we have to start not being afraid to pay it forward.
Yeah.
A lot of times we get successful, as doctors, as business owners, we never talk about our stories.
Yeah.
Because so how are the kids to have any hope when nobody's telling him, nobody's giving examples. All they're doing is seeing, Rodney one day saying he's going to do this, and now they see you in a big television studio. Now they see you owning, the equipment that you do and doing what you're doing. They see you being successful. We have to lead by example. But more importantly, we have to tell our stories, because somewhere there's going to be somebody that comes across that story or that hear that story that now has hope that it actually can happen. A lot of people don't.
They don't believe.
Right. There you go. That's what I was going to say.
You know what? I'm glad you said that. And that's one of the things that I would like for people to know. You're a prime example, like many other people. Hey, Frank, didn't nobody come and give you what you got?
No, not at all. Not at all. I was afforded opportunities.
Right.
But that was only because of the effort I put into it.
Right.
But even with that being said, that's easier said than done.
Yes.
We can sit up here and we can say, I have the successes I've had in my life, and I've, traveled the world and done the things I've done. I've worked for amazing people like Jay-Z and Diddy and all of these, and I've broken millions of records on artists like Megan Thee Stallion and Young Thug, and I can say that, but the people out there listening, they don't. They don't know, because they don't know how to do it. They don't know what I've been through. So sharing my stories, and again, this was the reason for my book, because in my book I talk about the stories. I talk about my conversations with Russell Simmons and LL Cool J and so many different artists, and my conversation with Jay-Z on the elevator, my very first, actually, first and last conversation I've ever had with Jay-Z.
When you just mentioned Kevin Liles, okay, you remember when Kevin got married, you remember when you came and you saw me down there and I was doing the security.
Right. I never even thought. I was shocked. I was like, what is he doing at Kevin Liles' wedding? That's interesting. But again, everything leads to something.
Yes, and it was amazing that, we were down there. I had the opportunity to...
Kevin had to tell me stop working, by the way, that day. I went down there to be a part of his wedding. He was like, Frank, I've invited you here for my wedding, not to work. And I'm always in work mode. I never stop. And I only say that to say that even when I'm afforded opportunities to come have a vacation, I'm working.
But
on my vacations, when me and my wife took our vacations and we went to Aruba or wherever we went to vacations, it's like I never left for vacation, because I'm still on the phones. I'm still micromanaging. That's where Kevin used to say, you got to learn to work smarter, not harder, because you're always working. Sometimes you got to relax. Yeah. Sometimes you got to go on vacation and trust that all of the hard work you put in is going to stand for what you did when you're not here. You don't have to be everywhere. What's going to happen is going to happen. When you get back, you'll fix it, or we'll fix it before you get back.
That's one of the things that I'm trying to learn how to do, is to sometimes just take the time to relax.
It's because all we've known is doing it ourselves.
Yeah.
When you you set out for these ventures and these dreams, you never really realize that there's people out there that want to help, as Kevin always told me. And so you always think the only way it's going to get done is if I do it. I mean, how many times have you asked to get things done and you turn around and you have to go do it yourself? But in the same sense, there are people out there that really want to be a part of what you do. And, there are people out there who, again, sitting out there right now that have questions that just haven't called in because they don't know what to, they don't know how to ask the question, what question to ask. But again, listen, one thing I love to do, if anyone knows me, is I love to talk. I love to speak to people. I love to speak life. So, you can always hit me up for a question or so forth. And,
One of the things, again, people got to not be afraid. No question is a dumb question.
No question is a dumb question at all.
The
dumb question actually is the one you don't ask.
Yeah.
Right.
So a lot of times people be like, I don't know if I should call and ask them.
Ask.
If you don't ask, you won't find out.
Right.
And a lot of times, it's almost like a person who said, I want to win.
Right.
But you don't win. You don't lose until you quit.
Right. Yep.
So people don't understand that.
Right.
You don't have to be first.
Right.
But as long as you're still in the game,
right,
you're still winning.
Yep.
And so people got to understand that. So, again, we got about 5 minutes left on the show. This is People to People with Rodney Grimes. My guest today is Mr. Frank Johnson.
Hey, man, it's the funniest thing. This show was supposed to start at 10 o'clock, and I was awake at 7 o'clock in the morning, but I figured because of the snow, I was like, okay, Rodney's not going to do the show today. So I was talking to Malik, and who's a very good friend of both of ours, one of my best friends, and I was telling him I was supposed to be on the show, but I guess they're gonna cancel it because of the weather. Next thing at 9:30, the phone rings, and Rodney's like, "So we still good for today?" I'm like, "Rodney, it's 9:30. Are you calling me to remind me at 9:30?" And he was like, "Frank, I thought you were, just on your way. I thought you got it." I said, "I thought and this is a note. I said, I thought that we were canceling it if it snowed." He was like, "Yeah, but the roads are fine. Everything is fine." And I was like, "Okay, all right." So I got dressed, got myself together, got dressed, and I'm here. And I say that to say that I could have came up with any excuse to say, let's reschedule it. But the truth is always in getting it done.
Yeah.
We can make excuses all day long about pushing things off or why we can't or why not. Why not is the bigger question. Why not get it done? Why not go do it?
Well, you know what? Through every situation, there's a learning, a lesson to learn.
Right.
So one of the things that I learned from that situation is to communicate.
Communication is
Because,
important.
last night, while we was prepping for you to come, it was snowing, but it wasn't sticking real bad.
Right.
But I got to remember, you in a whole different demographic area.
Right.
So you could have came up with 6 feet of snow. So
Right.
my apologies. But
No. I wasn't saying that for
I'm
your
still-
apology. I was
no,
saying
no,
that for the people
no,
out there
no.
to understand. Get up off your ass and excuse me,
and-
get off your butt. And if you want to
and-
get it done, you will get it done. If you want to make an excuse, you'll make an excuse.
But at the same time, too, also don't be afraid to acknowledge when it's a lesson learned.
When it's a lesson learned.
And that was a lesson learned for me.
Amen to that.
So I first of all thank you for actually after I called you this morning as you was on the phone with our boy, that's my brother from another mother, Malik. That I call him all the time, and when you told me you was on the phone with him, I just smiled. And you was like, "Rodney, yo, okay, I'm getting dressed."
Right.
And for you to get here as fast as you did, man, first of all, thank you so much for that.
Well, I was speeding up the highway. I knew I was late.
Yeah, but I can guarantee you that it's going to be quite a few people that's going to listen to this program, because you can also see this a program also on YouTube as well. We are definitely expanding. We got a lot going on out here in Tyson's Corner. The people is covering the DMV, and this is for all of us. Frank, what I would like to do is to make sure that you will agree to come back and talk again.
I'll come back when we can have people in studio.
Okay.
And we're going to do it at a setting, but I want to help find the setting so that people can be able to come sit in.
Oh, I mean,
It's going to be a special show. Don't worry about it. I got it. I already have it in my mind. I already have it mapped out. That's why I was saying, wow, it's interesting that you put such an investment into it. So.
Yeah. I got something that once we finish with the show, we can do a walkthrough. I'm going to show you the rest of the location.
Oh, okay.
Show you what we
I was
working.
wondering if this space in here had, because I know there's a space like this in downtown Baltimore. It's a co-op space, and they have spaces where you can actually do events and things and so forth.
Wait till you walk through here. I think
Okay.
you'll be pretty impressed.
Okay.
Again, so you get the last words. We got a couple of minutes.
You said me?
Yeah, you get the last words. But real
Okay,
quick,
that's scary.
hey, put that book up there, Frank, because I want them to see that book. Make sure that y'all going to support Frank's book. So you just keep it right where you at, and but go ahead, Frank. Close us
The
out.
last word, wow. Okay. This may seem oxymoronish, or this may seem short and sweet. But if you're out there and you have an aspiration to be whatever it is you have an aspiration to do, just keep in mind this one simple thing that I've been told over and over in my life and in my stint in my career. A closed mouth don't get fed. Simple.
Simple as that.
Closed mouths don't get fed. If you want something, ask. The worst somebody can do is tell you no.
No, I love it. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate you, bro. Man,
Yeah,
much
right.
respect,
Thank you very
man.
much.
Hey, for everybody that's out there, y'all.
Now I gotta find me a Waffle House. I
Hey,
gotta find me. Isn't any Waffle Houses in this area?
not that I know of, but you can go across the street to Tyson Corner. We right across the street from the shopping center. They
Yeah,
got them
no.
all over there. But we'll talk after we go out. But hey, remember, it's people to people, power to power, power to thinking people. I love you. Stay blessed. And guess what? Remember, every day that you wake up in the morning, what do you have? A choice and a voice. Make it happen.
I can't wait to go back and listen to it now. Oh, whew. Yeah, this light is cool. But yeah, I'm gonna show you real quick the clamps
Okay.
that you can hang right on the.
Positive thinking people. Every Monday night, every Wednesday night, every Friday night, every Monday night, every Wednesday night, every Friday night, every Monday night.